we're actually trying to think about housing for downtown because, again, that's another big draw to get people to enjoy what we have. So that's kind of one of our big focuses. But we do focus on the design of downtown. What can we do to make it look better? We do focus on the businesses. How can we help them succeed?
I am here with Jennifer Hackman. You are the director of the Klamath Falls Downtown Association, and you've just wrapped up your year, right?
Yes, it's been a long one, but a very fun one.
That's exciting. So tell me about the Downtown Association. You guys are part of a bigger, broader Main Street organization. Am I correct?
Yes, we're a part of Oregon Main Street. And what they do is they have 4 tiers that we kind of operate off of. We have organization, economic vitality, promotion, and design. And that's kind of how we build off of all the things that we do.
Okay. What does being a part of that Main Street mean, that Main Street program?
So that means that we have a lot bigger pool for resources. So we are a part of Oregon Main Street and we have resources through Oregon, but we also are an accredited Main Street for our Main Street America or National Main Street. So again, even bigger pool of resources for businesses. Sometimes it's training, sometimes it's grants, sometimes it's just, an opportunity for me to put out a question like, hey, has anybody run into this difficulty? Or does anybody have success with this type of program? And I get answers from all over.
Okay, that's pretty cool. How long has the Downtown Association in Klamath existed?
Since 2008.
Okay.
And funny story about that, I was a part of that way back in the day. I didn't really pay much attention that I was, but when they first started, Mike Angeli, who I worked for, he taught me how to speak by making me talk to all the businesses about the ledge.
Okay. And so in 2008, you were working for the Ledge,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just went out and talked to other businesses?
Not exactly. It's when we used to have a meeting, where we'd have businesses come together and they'd take turns talking about what they did, what they offered, what's going on with their business so that other businesses had a better understanding.
Okay. And so that was kind of the first program, if you will, of the Downtown Association. These businesses, I'm assuming from the downtown area, got together and then would talk about what they have going on.
That's some of the beginning things. I know there was a lot more behind the scenes that I didn't realize because I was still pretty young. And I spent more time running the ledge while Mike did the getting set up of the Downtown Association. But
Okay. That's really fun. Do you guys still have those kind of programs? Do businesses get together and talk about it?
yeah, we do. Right now we've got quarterly events that we have different businesses come. It's about a 15-minute, speech from the business, but then we also have time to talk to other businesses, just enjoy time together. But hopefully next year I'll have a few more.
That's exciting. When you think back to 2008 to now, what are some of the changes you've seen in downtown?
Oh my goodness. There's been a lot. Well, one of the big ones, we all know Third Thursday happened over the summer. Well, back in the day, it was just businesses would stay open late. Sometimes they'd have a table out front, have a little bit of popcorn or have some little tastings of this, that, and the other. Mike and I would sit out with the out in the driveway and just wave at people and talk to people as they come in and enjoy, just nice and relaxing. But now it's obviously grown a lot with over 100 vendors, music, special guests like Fighter Friday this year.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things. But I've also noticed that there are a lot of new businesses coming in and a lot of people who have great drive to really draw people to town. And it's not just, I want things to stay the same. No, they want things to change so that we can all grow and help our community.
Mm-hmm. Third Thursday, you mentioned that. I obviously know what it is, and I'm assuming a lot of people do, but tell us what Third Thursday is for someone that may not know.
Well, Third Thursday is an opportunity. It started, as I said, for businesses to stay open, kind of give them a little opportunity to have more business. But beyond them opening on third Thursday for the late night is we have vendors down the middle. We have, as I said, music. It's just a big community event that's free to everybody that can come down and just enjoy.
Mhm.
It's something to get out and do, on a weeknight that, maybe you didn't have.
Yeah. And you mentioned Fighter Friday. That was a special. It wasn't on Thursday. It was obviously on Friday. It was
Mhm.
connected to the air show. But how did that come about?
Well, it was Kingsley Field. They wanted to they reached out to us and said, "Hey, we've got the um, U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds coming. Everybody's going to be here Friday, but they don't have anything to do. They won't be here in town on Thursday. So what about moving it?" And we considered it, and it was pretty much a unanimous, all right, let's go. It's a lot of changes, a lot of extra planning, a lot of logistic changes that we needed to adjust for, but it was definitely worth it.
What does it take to put on an event that big?
A lot of hours and a lot of people. The big thing is volunteers because, as I said, I'm the only actual employee of the Downtown Association, and the rest are all volunteers. And that's the thing that's amazing, is we're able to pull all these things together, but we have things that we have to plan, like, okay, who's going to be our musicians? Who's going to um, be our food vendors, who are going to be our selling vendors, what service organizations come in, what are they going to do as an activity so that it's not just let me hand you a piece of paper. We want people engaged. Then it's also planning things with the city to make sure that all the pieces are coming together, the insurance, um, the reservations for the parks, the permits. So it's all hands on deck type of event where we're pulling in organizations from every which direction to make this event happen.
Okay. A lot of people giving back to the community to make that happen.
Mhm.
Is the Downtown Association made up only of businesses in the downtown area?
No, it's not. We actually have anybody has the ability to join the Downtown Association, including individuals. But the caveat to the Downtown Association is that there are some benefits that only downtown members can get because of they're within the downtown district.
What are the boundaries of the downtown district?
Oh boy.
They don't have to be exact, but kind of where do you picture as downtown?
Mostly we have, Pine Street, Klamath Avenue, all of Main Street. We have it goes a little bit further down 6th. Um, and then, obviously a lot of the side streets and surrounding areas, but it's bigger than you traditionally picture as downtown. It's not just Main Street.
Yeah. Why is downtown important?
It's the heart of our city. It's If we can get people here, we can get them to enjoy the rest of our community. But if we don't love on this area and give it what it needs to thrive, we're not going to be able to give that back to the rest of the community.
Mm-hmm. Does There's some really interesting history in the downtown area. Is there something you always find particularly interesting?
Well, I think the things that I find interesting are things that I haven't figured out.
Oh, well, talk to me about some of those.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm learning that there's a lot more history in our buildings than I've ever noticed. My husband and I now walk downtown and we just stare at the different buildings. Well, what was that? And what was this? And so we're paying more attention to like the Klamath Museum and all the things that they post on a regular basis about, this is what this building used to look like. And it's very fascinating,
Hmm.
so it's also another thing that kind of draws me to want to find ways to help these buildings with restoration of some sort, because it's history that I don't want to lose. And I know there's a lot of in the community that we don't want to lose it because it's a part of Klamath Falls.
Yeah. I think when you're walking downtown and you look at some of the buildings, there's unique little features on some of the buildings that, unless you're walking and specifically looking, you may not notice. There's a building with pine cones. Do you know which building I'm talking about? And it has pine cones up in the um, design of it, which I always think is interesting. So I like some of that kind of thing.
I do too. And I like the difference in the different, you can kind of tell the different years they were done
Mhm.
because of the different styles. So, we've got the building, which is now the George. It's got the almost Art Deco at the
Mhm.
top on the was it parapet, I think?
Yeah.
Still learning all those terms with the historic buildings.
It's easy to get lost. Don't know which path to take, what to post. In the social media jungle, video is king. Your kids are obsessed, your customers are addicted, we're all hooked, and social media sites prioritize videos. So when you're ready to stand out from the crowd, reach out to 40 Deuce Films. Feeling over everything.
We have a lot of murals downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like are there plans for more of those or anything?
Yes, there are. We've got a few in the progress. I can't tell about them just yet
Okay.
because we're still working through all the details. But yeah, we are planning on doing more. I know that between Healthy Klamath and Downtown Association and some other organizations, they've been doing a lot to try to activate our alleyways, activate just these empty spaces that just don't have anything. And those things are an additional draw.
Mhm. What do you think makes our downtown unique?
I think our downtown's unique in the sense that, we have a lot of organizations who do events downtown. A lot of them I've noticed over the time that I've spent talking to people throughout the state is that it seems to be one organization that will do the events and very few others. And we have a lot of different organizations doing different portions. And so I think that's one of our big things that's unique. But I also think, we are growing a lot in our art installations because we do, as you mentioned, the murals, but we also have all the Stephen Savitas sculptures all over the place and, world around. And it's a whole bunch in a very small town.
Hmm. I think about that too. I also feel like there's a lot of parks in our downtown area.
Mhm.
There's the Commons, Sugarman's, Veterans
Mhm.
Park. Am I missing any? I
Mm-mm.
feel like spaces to gather, we have quite a few
Mhm.
downtown. What do you think the biggest opportunities are for our downtown?
I think some of our biggest opportunities is, getting more people involved in what happens downtown, whether it's cleanups or it's, helping us to figure out businesses to take ownership or rent the spaces that are open. Because again, a nice downtown is a big draw for visitors.
Sorry, I have to sneeze. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
That's all
want you
right.
to be talking and I sneezed. Oh gosh.
That's all right. It's getting more people down here.
What do you I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's right.
What do you think the challenge is to getting people downtown?
Set in their ways. Everybody likes to stay in their little space where they're comfortable, where they're used to. And although, back in the day, Main Street was the hub of the town, it has gone away from that. And so when I'm talking to people, I tell them all the time, nope, there's a lot more to downtown than you realize. Get down there and check it out. And I start listing off all the many things that are downtown. I love spending time downtown now.
If what is the downtown association focused on the businesses downtown or the feel of downtown in general? What is the downtown association focusing on?
We have actually a lot of things that we focus on. One of the big ones is we're actually trying to think about housing for downtown because, again, that's another big draw to get people to enjoy what we have. So that's kind of one of our big focuses. But we do focus on the design of downtown. What can we do to make it look better? We do focus on the businesses. How can we help them succeed? And one of our big things with that is some of our new partnership with KU Media, Digital Media, is we've created a KU Downtown partnership. And so new things will be coming with that partnership that will help businesses.
hmm So, is there a lot of, I believe there's, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of apartment space downtown, right?
Hmm.
That isn't quite being utilized at this point
Hmm.
in time, but some of it's been renovated.
Yeah.
So, do you have an idea of how much, like how many people are living downtown? Do you have any idea?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay.
But I do know that there are a lot of areas that haven't been redone just because of the costs.
hmm
Especially we all know that in the last few years, the costs of materials have grown significantly, and so it's made it a little bit harder for these projects to keep moving forward. But we're still continue to look for resources and see if we can get some of those things restored.
I like it. How many people are on the board?
We have 13 traditional members, and then we have, I'm going to say 7 liaisons for different areas in the community.
Okay. Um, I want to talk about you for a few minutes.
Okay.
I know in 2008, it sounds like you were working for the Ledge,
Hmm.
which is fun, but you moved away and then moved back to the community. How
Yes.
long have you been back in Klamath?
We moved back in 2020,
hmm
and it's been a little bit different. It's still really cold to me. While we were gone, my husband was in the Navy, and so we were in Guam, and he was in Crete, Greece for a while, and then we also lived in Hawaii. So obviously, tropical blood is now ingrained in me,
Yeah.
and so it's a little bit chilly since we've moved back.
That's funny. What has been your favorite thing about working at the Downtown Association so far?
Gosh, just learning again. I loved what I did before, but really expanding my skills and realizing how much I can lead when I didn't think I could. I
hmm
think that's the biggest thing is I really enjoy that. And then I enjoy talking with the people and just having a variety of things to do.
hmm I can understand that. What What is something that you've accomplished in your year so far that you're really proud of?
There's so many. um, I think I'm really proud of Fighter Friday, because it took a lot more effort than a traditional third Thursday. And I was kind of just like, here, this is new to you, but I need you to figure these things out. And so I was able to do that. I had lots of help, of course, but it was something spectacular that I think that the town really, really enjoyed.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how many people attended that?
I don't have any numbers, but my guess, given how many people I saw at the air show and here, I would say at least 10,000 because we were packed from 2nd Street to 11th Street and the Commons. It was busy for the whole entire event and even kind of past the event.
Have you heard from any of the businesses about what it did for their business during that time?
I haven't heard a whole lot, but I think most of them really enjoyed that it was on Friday.
hmm Okay. What do you think is coming up in the future for the Downtown Association? What can people expect?
I think you can expect that I am going to continue to work to find things to improve on our events, improve our efficiencies, improve on, for our businesses, what things that we can help them with. It's just overall work towards making everything better, trying to make it more organized. And, it's had great organization, but things change as technology changes. And so that was one of the big ones this year was changing up to a new system, doing a new website, which is we're still working on. Obviously, we're doing some more media work with KU, just all those different pieces, but it's going to take some time to get those going.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what happens with the Downtown Association in the future.
Yeah,
So,
me too. I'm very, very excited.
yeah. So, a couple fun questions. Um, I've been asking people their perfect day in Klamath, but I want to know, could you tell me a perfect day down in downtown Klamath Falls?
Oh, goodness. Well, I would say the perfect day downtown would definitely start with some good food because there's lots of choices. Afterwards, a nice walk, just checking out the different boutiques, stores, uh, going to the library. We love going to the library, and then just enjoying time in the park. I think that would be my perfect day, because for one, it would have to be in the summer because I'm always cold.
Because you're always cold. But we have that really cool feature where our sidewalks are geothermally heated, right?
Yes, we do, but it's still on the cold side
It's
for me.
No doubt. If I gave you $250,000 to make a difference in the community, what would you do with it?
I think right now would be trying to restore either the arcade or the building that's the Thrift City building, because they're both a little more. They have such character, but they need some love, a lot of love. But I think those would be my two big projects, is just to try to bring them up to date so that we can actually use those spaces, because they're beautiful. They just need that extra care.
Yeah. I know I'm asking the questions that I usually ask at the end, but that does make me think of something. When you were talking about the things that the Downtown Association does, are there concerted efforts to revitalize some of those spaces and make them more usable?
Yes, we do. This year, the it was unfunded, but the Oregon Main Street, they have a revitalization grant, and we've been a big part in using that from year after year after year. One of the projects that was used was the IOF building. They were able to restore all the windows upstairs so that they could actually go towards the historical point of things. But we've had a variety of projects for quite some time that we used that one, but we're also looking for other funding. So we have our part of our design committee actually has been working with different people to help guide some of their grants towards that. Those grants, but also helping them find resources of where else can we find money, because as we know, those projects take a lot.
They do. Are there ever any conversations about recruiting any specific kinds of businesses downtown, or is that not something?
Not at the moment. Some our economic vitality committee, that's kind of part of one of the things that they're working towards, but we don't have anything specifically in the plan.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I had that other question.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about one of your role models.
I have 3. And first of them was Mike, because some of his things that he taught me has gotten me to this point. It's kind of funny that I've done this huge circle. But he taught me a lot of skills that have helped me along the way. The next one was Lee Weber from Guam. He was the president of the dive shop that I work for. He, was a great person that he taught me a lot about, promotion and marketing. He used to be a publisher in Hawaii for one of their big newspapers. And then he's also got a lot of global connections he does government consulting, and he's got a long list of great things. And then the third would be Russ Buckingham from Aqualung. When I worked for him, he was my last person before I left Hawaii. And he was the reason why I'm able to lead. Because when I went in, I'm just like, I'm happy being a support person. I'm good, but he's just like, no, everything you keep doing, you're showing that you're a leader and that you could very well lead. And, although I don't have any employees, I'm doing the best I can to believe in myself and help lead this community to understand what the Downtown Association does and try to bring us some other great things.
I love that. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And thank you to our producer, 40 Deuce Films.